Hello, everyone. It's a new exciting episode of JSP Coffee Podcast. And I today want to introduce you my guest, Mike Vineyard. He is the founder of Who Needs Human, an AI education company with a mission to create freedom to entrepreneurs. Also, he is a growth marketer and AI enthusiast. He's passionate about data-driven strategies that drive profit. Also, he is experienced in scaling startups and optimizing their performance. He worked with the different businesses from startups like the Beard Club to billion-dollar companies like Meta. Hi, Mike. Nice to see you.
Oh, hey. Yeah, nice to see you too. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you here. And today we are going to talk about AI technologies and how exactly they are changing the way the marketing is running right now and what will be in the future with this technology. So now, how can AI-powered video creation tools help revolutionize content marketing strategies, and what are some practical examples of using of AI technologies in video content creation?
So the core benefits that we want to think about is savings in cost and time. So right now, if you think about your average workflow for content, you're going to have an idea, you're going to send it to you're going to shoot raw content with your team, you'll come up with a concept, and then eventually you're going to cut that down into either long form content, take your long form content, cut it down into short form content. So the key benefits of AI is to sort of remove the middleman. And there's already some amazing tools that, for example, can take your long form content, chop it down into shorter form content, and then do all of the captions. One example of this is Opus Pro. That's probably one of the leaders in the space right now. And what we're going to head towards in this space is the ability to create video seamlessly without really needing to have an editor for much longer. As of right now, you still need to have an editor in the space, or you need to know a little bit of editing. But I often like to think about this as in terms of like, if you remember 56K, when we used to have to like dial up to computers, that's the kind of state that we're in with these tools. So this year was the kind of the big inflection point. But we already have seen how much time you can save. Because if you think about, how long it might take you to edit an entire, podcast or video, or how long it takes you to edit something like this, right? All of that's going to end up being automated. There's already tools that can automate this. Another one that you can think about is one called Autopod, which plugs it directly into Adobe Premiere, and then it can edit the entire podcast for you. So something that you might want to use on this project. Who knows?
But probably you're using it for ad creations, video creations right now. Like you're using constantly AI technologies for production.
Yeah, absolutely. So Opus is one that we're using to take long form content and turn it into short form content. And like I said, it does all of the captions for you. And that's something that can be done pretty simply. There's a couple other tools like Pictory and InVideo that can do longer, like, VSL style of videos, and new tools coming out every single day. In terms of like scripts, et cetera, we can also use like Claude or any of the large language models like GPT-3 or 4 to write the scripts before we get to the production of the videos.
As the person that was running ads for a long time, you know that it's crucial to have a good landing page. And first of all, so you need not just to have a good appearance of a landing page, but also this landing page should convert. So do you use AI technologies for landing page production as well? And what kind of tools you can use to make it look good and also be convertible?
So I think this is one of the spaces where you're still going to need like a decent team on the design side, at least for now. But one thing that you can do, especially if you have like a robust customer avatar, is use ChatGPT, use the large language models to review your existing landing pages, or to potentially like write copy for you. You can also feed it pages that you're looking to design something similar to. So for example, like I might see a landing page that I want to use as a sample, and then I would say, write me something similar and structured to this page, right? And I'm not talking about copying the page exactly, but just using it as a framework for the style, the way the content is structured, et cetera. and then ChatGPT can do a very good job of outputting that based on a particular customer avatar. So for example, like we're working with a product right now that it's baseball training for parents. And we're able to, create the customer avatar first, and then create landing pages that are based on landing pages that we know are winners, and have it output for that direct sort of avatar. And not only that, we can produce multiple different avatars using the large language model. For example, if we know that parents are buying it, we got outputs that said, hey, maybe we should target coaches. So we can quickly iterate on these landing pages and make several different landing pages that are specific to the avatars that we want to target. If that makes sense.
So probably it will help a bit faster to create personalization for different buyer personas, right?
Yes, that's exactly right. And then also iteration also changes. So for example, like, let's say you're doing like a multivariate test and you need new headlines, or you need new like sections of copy. You can rewrite those sections very easily using the large language models. I would like to tell you that there's a great tool that can like instantly spit out converting landing pages, but we're not quite there yet, at least as far as I've seen.
But do you think that in the future it will be possible, for example, to create unique one landing page and integrate AI technologies into this page, and just produce as many as possible different versions of the same landing page, like pictures, structures, maybe, but the content will be different depending from the personal interest of each person entering the page?
Yeah, absolutely. There's examples of that already exist. So if you look at Visual Website Optimizer, that's a tool that can use do multiple versions of the website. So you can do like a multivariate test based on different aspects of the website. But I think what we're going to have going into the future is tools that are much more robust and much more intuitive. So for example, right now, like you have to go and you have to tell your landing page designer to make it like how you want, and then you might get a version back that is maybe close to what you had envisioned, but maybe not exactly. In the future, the AI is going to be able to take your idea, and you're going to be able to work directly with the AI. Shopify is already building like a sidekick into their platform, so you can use language-based inputs to change. Like for example, right now, if you wanted to change and have like a holiday promo, right? You would need to have your developer make the image. You'd have to make them make the changes on the website, et cetera, add the promo. In the future, you're going to be able to communicate directly with the website, and then the website is going to make the changes based on what you asked it to do. So again, you're kind of cutting out the middleman. And in terms of like the multivariate testing, split testing, again, that's something that machine learning can do much more effectively and efficiently than a human being can. So I can see that being built directly into landing page editors moving into the near future.
So probably maybe in the future, like you as just regular user can have, for example, some online shop, and you don't have any technical skills. You're not designer, you're not copywriter. You had people who made the whole magic before, and you just need to have some little bit changes, and you will ask like some chatbot maybe on a page, please make those changes on the page, and they will change the code of the page. So you don't need to dig into.
Yeah, and like I mentioned, Shopify's already working on this. They already have, I think, rolled it out to some Shopify users. But essentially, you can already say, hey, we want to change the front page to this, Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, holiday promotion, and it'll be able to do that for you. It'll be much more intuitive, and then you'll be able to give it feedback and say, you made it like this. I want it to like this. And then it will also be able to give you like eventual suggestions based on traffic, et cetera. So in many cases, like your developer, your designers, your graphic designers, and your video editors eventually are going to get overtaken by artificial intelligence, including copywriters also.
Yeah. But what do you think, in case we will have AI technologies integrated into landing pages, we will have a big amount of data. inside of it, like analytics and other stuff. Can AI technologists analyze this data properly and like give you good advices that can work, and also help you to modify your strategy to get more leads, to make more conversions, or even advise you to create some upsell on your landing page?
Yeah, so absolutely. So for example, if I give you like 6 or 7 numbers to repeat in your head while we're having this conversation, how long do you think you'd be able to remember those numbers while we're having a chat?
Well, I don't think I will remember it to
Not
Lucian.
not very long, right? So the thing about machine learning is it if I give the numbers to ChatGPT, it's going to remember it for the entirety of its context length. Right now, the kind of like look back windows are a little bit limited on the large language models, but going into the future, we're going to have near infinite like look back. And the thing about data is these machine learning can synthesize and remember data in a way that humans are just not built for. So when you think about things like media buying, like you might be looking at millions of dollars worth of data from years and years and years, and it'll start to hurt your brain a little bit when you try to like work through that data as a human being. But the AI is amazing. Like there's use cases where AI was able to learn, chess in hours or days and beat some of the best chess masters in the world. So there's very few like database games that AI is not going to be better at than humans. So I think again, this is a task that most media buyers are doing, right? They're like taking the creative, they're building campaigns, and then they're trying to analyze the data. And I think like short to maybe in the next couple of years, again, like you're going to be able to have like an AI media buyer. It will take all the data and give you suggestions based on what they think you should test, and it will be able to look at all of the different elements of the ad. It'll be able to look at all the elements of the landing page and say, okay, here's what we need to do to increase the conversion rate. Here's what we need to do to decrease the cost per click, and here are some ideas on how we can increase your average order value LTV. So I think that not only will AI be able to help us to optimize like the front end of the traffic, but it's going to be able to take a full funnel approach and really look at the bigger picture of what's happening. And because it can synthesize all of that data much more effectively than a human being, it's just going to be able to see things that aren't readily apparent at a much lower effort than us trying to remember those like 7 numbers in our heads. So that's something as a media buyer I'm looking forward to, because it's going to make things way more effective, I think.
Do you think those technologies may still kind of humans work? In a sense, like copywriters will be not needed in case AI technologies will be in that level that they can produce good content, and people will probably get used to writing text with them. And also, for example, if everything will be analyzed in your Facebook ad account, all the numbers, and they can be predicted by AI technologists. Do they will need people who work with PPC, and probably those people will have work, or they will just need to adopt this new technologies to be present on the market?
So, I mean, I think the middle phase is going to be humans plus AI. I think that every marketer, every copywriter, every designer, like anybody that is a freelancer or entrepreneur is going to have to use artificial intelligence sooner than later, and it's a skill, right? So the sooner that you start learning the skill and utilizing the skill, the more effective and efficient you're going to be. And we will reach a point where when people are making hiring decisions, they're going to ask like, do you have experience using these AI tools? And if your answer is no, they're probably going to choose the person that has AI experience, because again, part of the game of business is like how quickly can you implement, how fast can you move, and nobody's going to be able to move as fast as humans plus artificial intelligence. Longer term, we are looking at potentially some of these roles going away. Like you might still have a job if you're like the top, 1%. Um, but I think a lot of other people are going to have to move towards either entrepreneurship or, things that humans are really great at, like creativity and problem solving. Um, so I think again, middle term, you're going to have to like start integrating AI. If you're not using AI, excuse me, you should start using that right now. Start implementing it into your life.
Yeah, I think also that even I'm using it in my day-to-day work and even life sometimes. So it's great to have some helper that can enhance your work and make your work do faster than it's right now. What are potential challenges that right now are with AI technologies in the midst of landing creation and also video content creation?
The limits right now is like we're still in like the early phases here. So I think there can be like one mistake I see people in the market making is that they think that because there's challenges with the software now or like with the copy, like I see people saying that the AI copy is not very good, this will never replace copywriters. They're only looking at the distinction of like where we're at right now, like not where we're going to be at 3 years from now. But for example, I've been using Midjourney since it came out, and if you look at the images that it create, even a short time ago, they were it was kind of like the 56K version, and now it can do like 4K lifelike images, and that's happened in a really short amount of time. So I think one of the biggest mistakes that's being made is just thinking that the way things are now is how they're going to stay, and then not implementing these technologies. I will say that there's a gap right now. Like again, these are like brand new softwares, so almost none of them are perfect. Like we're basically the beta testers for these technologies, and we're not going to see like the full use cases for like the next couple of years. So they're not perfect, right? Like you might have to fiddle with your landing page output and ChatGPT a little bit until you get it perfect. Same thing with the video editing. It might not come out perfect the first time. But what I can say is the more that you get the reps in on these skills, the more benefits you're going to have later on as these tools become more robust and easier to use, because you'll already have used them in the past. So I think to like kind of sum that up is we want to make sure that we're not basing the potential future on where we're at right now and really thinking about how these things are going to develop, and working steadily to implement them in our businesses where they make sense, and not expecting them. Like I think the other expectation is that that the future is here now. But again, at least right now, you are going to have to do some manual work still, and I think that's important to recognize.
Where exactly we can use AI technology in the future? Like we know right now that we can generate content, create pictures, images, edit video, create landing pages. Even developers can use it for coding. What exactly are the spheres of our life can be impacted with AI technologies as well? What do you think?
So for example, like I have this Whoop, it's like biometric armband, and they just implemented an AI coach. So for me, I'm excited about that area because I think it'll allow us to be more healthy and maybe less visits to the doctors because we'll be able to basically have a virtual doctor in our pocket at the same time. In terms of business, I think eventually we're going to get to the point where you can run a majority of your business on AI. Like it'll be able to do your marketing, it'll be able to do your sales. Like they already have, like there's a technology called Air, which will actually call and do outbound calls, and also do inbound calls, and it sounds pretty close to a human person. The cost is really high, but they'll be able to cover all of your customer service, all of your design, like all those changes that you want to make. It'll do your taxes, it'll do your invoices, it'll do 99% of the business. I think we're going to see things like Go High Level or like ClickFunnels, but for your entire business. And it just runs the entire thing, kind of like an operating system for entrepreneurship. I think that's what's going to come in the near future, because right now you have like all these different pieces, and eventually someone's going to take all these different pieces and plug them together. And then you'll just have like your one-stop shop for running the entire thing. So that's something I'm excited about because, I think as a visionary, sometimes you have like this amazing idea of like what you want this business to be, but then you got to go, kind of like talk to 10 different people to get it built. And very soon, like you're not going to have to do that. You're just going to be able to take the vision in your head, and the AI is going to help you build it in a way that's seamless and intuitive, where you're able to give it real time feedback. And right now, the feedback is kind of hard. Like you're going to have to go talk to your team. You have to go talk to all these people. Like some of them are going to get sick, or maybe they quit, or whatever. But the AI is hopefully, knock on wood, never going to quit on you. And it's going to be able to have all of your data for the life of your business forever. So I'm excited about that because I think it's going to make creation and problem solving and making a difference for humanity like much more intuitive for visionaries.
One thing that I'm afraid of is, like, as you said before, like, it's good that we will be able to have pocket doctors. Also, some operational work on the business will be put it on AI. The person that is never going to quit you or get sick or have some personal issues. But don't you think it will make people lazier? Like, we will have a bit more free time. We will not need to think and like structure our day-to-day work.
I want to hesitate on the word laziness. I think things come down to the matter of like the right incentives, and there's a lot of ways to create value that don't equate with being a button pusher. Like I imagine there's a lot of people out there in different jobs, like bank tellers, media buyers, like people that are essentially like a function of the business, but they're not really doing what they're passionate about. I think depending on what happens with AI, like people are going to have more tools to create the things that they want, and perhaps more time to actually focus on what they're really passionate about. And they'll have the tools, like when they find out what their passion is, the difference that they really want to make for the world, that they're going to have the tools to do that in a really powerful way. I think right now we're in a phase where a lot of humans get stuck as kind of like, a widget, like they're part of like the automation. And you can see how that kind of like plays out in society, where a lot of people are like really unhappy because, if you're a button pusher and really you want to be playing flamenco guitar on the beach, like, and like playing for a crowd, like why not create the space to do that? We could reach a point where, AI can help us, create societal structures that are much more beneficial, and that it would create the opportunity for us to spend more time with our families and with our communities, and like really deeply thinking about the problems that we should be solving, versus like, how can we make enough money to either, for a lot of people it's survival, for others it's like, how do we grow this business? But what would you do if you were free from all of that and you just had to focus on like your internal experience, right? Like what would you really want to do? I don't think it's lazy. I think that humans are deeply creative beings. It's just a matter of like the right incentives. And maybe AI will give us the opportunity to rethink what our incentives are and how we want to engage with each other as a society.
I hope it will release some people from their work, because a lot of people do monkey job. I say they do the same job every day, and in the end of the day, they just get tired to home. Some of them are hating their work. They go there just for money, and probably maybe it will open some kind of door for creativity for people that have a lot of ideas in their mind, but they don't know how to release them. Even as far as I know, you can ask ChatGPT about your idea, and it will help you with some notes and hence where to start from.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, I think the opportunity is it's going to become much easier to be an entrepreneur. Like right now, you have to like learn all these different skills. And I think that there's still going to be a need to learn skills and to become skilled. But I think that, the barrier to entry right now is if you want to become an entrepreneur is still quite high. It's definitely more accessible now that we have access to, broadband internet almost everywhere in the world. but there's still this difficulty that it might take you 10 years to acquire all the skills that you need to be successful. With AI, I think that you're just going to be able to have like this idea, hey, I want to make this thing. The AI will be able to give you feedback on whether it's like viable or not, and like what would be the potential for it, and then it will help you build it, assuming it's viable. So then your job becomes, okay, like what is the difference I really want to make for the world? What problems can I solve? Like what problems are out there? And that's something that I'm excited about, because I think that AI plus entrepreneurship can create a lot of freedom in the world. And again, if the AI is running the business and you're able to like spend time with your family and play your flamenco guitar, that's pretty nice. That's a world that I would like to be in. And obviously this could go in a completely different direction. We could end up in a weird like AI dystopian future, but I'm hoping that we end up on the flamenco guitar on the beach reality. I think that would be cool.
Yeah, let's hope for the best, not to have this apocalypse as
Yeah,
in films.
absolutely.
It was a real pleasure to talk to you, and I hope some people who will watch this video will be inspired and will start learning AI tools, and they will make their life easier.
Yeah, me too. I really hope so. If you're listening to this and you're on the fence about using AI and you're in any sort of business, just start using it. Even if it doesn't feel like it's where you want it to be right now, the best thing that you can do is start building the skill of using artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
And thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it.
Hope you liked our today's podcast. Please don't forget to like it, to share it with your friends, and also subscribe not to miss our future podcasts.